Dependency Inversion Principle. It says that high-level modules should not depend on low-level modules. In fact, both of these should depend on abstractions. So let us directly code this and understand. So I'm going to create a new file called dip.ts. First of all, let me paste a bad code example as always. So I have a class which is a low-level module called MySQL database, and there is a method called save, and we are console.logging a very basic message, and there is also a class called user service, and now this creates a new object of this class, and here we have a method called save user which takes in a user object, or user which is a string, and then this calls this method in the db class. So basically this violates dependency inversion principle because this class is a high level module and this class is a low level module. Now currently my high level module depends on low level modules, and what dependency inversion principle states is that high level modules should not depend on low level modules, and both of these modules should only depend on abstractions. So currently my high level module is depending on low level module because my high level module is directly tied up to this low level module. Now in future, if my SQL database changes or I need to add a new database, then I should keep on changing this user service, which obviously violates open close principle. But most importantly, this also violates dependency inversion principle. So how can I solve this? The solution is that I need to create abstraction, and both my high level module and low level module should depend on abstraction. So let us transform this bad code into a good code which follows dependency inversion principle. We know that the solution is to create an abstraction. So let me create an interface called database. And let me create a method for this interface, and which takes a data which is going to be of type string and returns void. So now I will create a class called MySQL database, which is a low level module, and that low level module will depend on this abstraction. So class MySQL database, and this should implement the database, and let us implement the method also. So console.log saving to database, and let's do data. Okay, so now if I want to add a new database, maybe I need to add a database called MongoDB, then what I can do is, instead of changing this class again and again, I can create a new class called MongoDB, and this will implement this database, and we can do saving to MongoDB, and we can do data. Now I need to take care of my high level module. So to take care of the high level module, I should create the user service class. So class user service, and let us create a constructor. Now constructor will take a private database which is going to be of type database. So database is the interface, and this will be empty. Now I can create a method called save user, which is going to be of type user of type string, and here I can call the save method from db or database interface. So this db.save, and I can pass user. So take a look. This is my high level module, and my high level module is no more dependent on low level module. In fact, my high level module is dependent on the abstraction, and also my low level modules are dependent on abstraction. So in case if tomorrow I have to add a new database, I can create a separate class, and I can pass the object in user service, and this follows dependency inversion principle. So let me show you the implementation. So I can create a new object of MySQL database, and what I can do this is I can store this object in a variable called MySQL. So const MySQL, and I want to create the object of this class user service. So new user service, and I can store this in the variable user service. So const user service 1, and finally in user service 1, so why this is showing error, new user service, Okay, I have to pass my SQL in the constructor, so my SQL, and what I can do is I can call user service 1 and then I can call save user and pass, let's say, let me console you. And if I run this, so in my package.json, I can do dependency inversion principle, and let's do npm run start. You can see saving to database, let me console you. So we have changed our wrong code or bad code into a good code. High level module and low level module are independent, and in fact both high level module and low level module are dependent on abstraction. So in this way we follow dependency inversion principle. Instead of user service creating its own dependencies, the control is now inverted. External code decides which dependency to inject.